Hello, and thank you to any returning listeners. If you're a brand new listener, again, thank you as well. You probably don't know me. My name is Hardiel Pinto. Last year I started my own small business called Pulp Cereal, where I distribute film serials, TV shows, and movies, all with roots in Pulp Fiction. This is my podcast one on one, where I take somebody I admire on social media and I force them to be my friend for half an hour. Today, I have uh, someone really wonderful, someone really special. I have Rosa from Rosa's Reviews, who from this point on is also a part of the website and podcast in their own league. So she's doing a lot of really great stuff. So, hi, Rosa.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Of
I really
course. So,
appreciate
I
it.
mean, definitely. Like, can't remember when I asked her. I think it was a couple months ago. I mean, it was a no brainer.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're so kind. You're always supportive and kind. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I try my best. I mean, it all obviously comes from a place of respect and admiration.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, what you and the film bee are doing isn't easy by any means. From starting a website from scratch and starting a podcast from scratch,
Right. Right. Right.
and so I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just here to cheer you both on because it's great what you two are doing, and I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Oh, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Yeah. I can't. I'm very excited about this. Just as we record, I think I just had my debut with my own review on the website. And it's about Blinded by the Light, which is, as of now, my favorite film of the year. And I'm just excited and just full with so much happiness and just excitement.
I sadly have still not seen Blinded by the Light yet.
Oh
I
no.
know it's still playing near here, luckily, but there's a few films that I've missed. I missed Loose. I didn't get to see that. The Nightingale came and went in about a week, so I missed that one.
Hmm.
Was it earlier this year? Teen Spirit as well was here for 6 days, and that came and went. I didn't even get to see that one at all.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, those the ones you just mentioned I have not seen either. I missed those by a few days, and then the Nightingale as well. It was playing here for longer than a week, but I just didn't have time to go see it either.
Exactly, because obviously we both have day jobs and we're trying to, write about movies and whatnot. So it could actually get a little hard sometimes to actually see movies.
Yeah, yeah, very hard. It's not easy.
Exactly. So I mean, today I'm gonna try to go see something. Um, I don't know if I'll be able to see Blinded by the Light just because of the way the show times are, but
I see.
I might go see Honeyland or I might go see Hustlers. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna pick.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, tonight I have. I don't know. I want to see Hustlers too. I haven't seen it. I'm trying to see it tonight though, but I might do a double feature and do the Peanut Butter Falcon again, and then also Hustlers. So we'll see.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of great things about Hustlers, but at the same time, I feel bad if I watch that before another movie that has been in theaters longer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way when they go to see a movie.
No. Don't feel bad. Just go watch whatever you want to watch. I don't see why. You just go watch it. Go
Yeah,
watch
I
whatever you please.
I know. It's hard to pick. Like I said, when there are multiple things
Yeah,
in the
yeah. There's
theater
so
all at
much.
once.
Yeah, so much content out there. Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, because I know a lot of people have said the summer has been disappointing, but when you really think about it, especially when you think about the smaller movies, I feel like we've gotten really lucky this summer. I feel like, especially here, there's been a lot of female directed films this summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I do think when they do say that the summer hasn't been that well. I'm assuming they're just talking about the blockbuster films. But yeah, the smaller indie films for me they have been some of the best. And yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Exactly. I just wish those types of movies got more coverage than the bigger ones, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I try my best to talk about, or not talk, but like retweeting or just putting it out there when it comes to the smaller films. Because, yeah, you're right. Not a lot of people cover them. So, and especially the female directed films as well. I feel like a responsibility to talk about them just so people can see what else is out there besides the big franchises out there.
Exactly, because even when like a movie does get a wide release, like even if it is a smaller movie, I feel like the odds are stacked against it. Like like something like The Sun Is Also a Star, which is a movie I won't shut up about this year. Um, I feel like I remember going and there was like me and maybe 10 people at the
Hmm.
opening weekend, and again
Oh,
that's a movie I really enjoyed, but like I feel like it just didn't get talked about enough.
right.
When you can something I've noticed recently, especially when it chapter 2 came out, I like how that movie is almost 3 hours, yet if you looked at like the amount of show times per day, it's kind of ridiculous compared to a smaller movie that might play at the same theater.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, yes, yes. I think it was every 30 minutes that it was playing at chapter 2. And yeah, it was taking at least most than half of the screenings in the theater that I went to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right. I watched Stars. The Sun Is Also a Star. I'm sorry, and I liked it. I thought it was a pretty nice film. And I didn't love it as much as my daughter did. I took my older daughter, my movie buddy, my 14-year-old, and she enjoyed it far more than I did. But I thought it was a nice film, a diverse cast, and I who was it? Somebody brought it up that I hadn't actually think about it, and it didn't come to my attention until that person talked about it. But that film is one of the fewer films that no dialogue at all comes from a white person. They were all minorities, or yeah, for the most part, it was just minorities or a diverse cast. So when they brought that to my attention, I was like, "Whoa, that's interesting. Something not commonly in the films nowadays."
Yeah, actually I do I did hear about that before I went to go see it, but there actually is one line
Uh huh.
by the white guy who in the subway who gets upset about the announcement made by the subway driver.
Okay.
I did notice that. So there's that one guy and he's really dismissive and upset that the subway stopped, and then literally every other character is a person of color, which I really
Yeah.
appreciated.
Yeah. Huh. I don't recall that. Okay. I'll have to probably watch it again.
I mean, I think that's just because I was looking for it because I had heard somebody say that before I went to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wasn't looking for it, obviously there's something I wouldn't have noticed.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, because I heard about it, but it was after I saw the movie, and I was thinking about it, and I was trying to find, like, just mentally trying to recall the entire film, and I didn't. It didn't come to mind. So, oh, okay, interesting. Then I retract my previous statement. Then.
I mean, it's correct if you just count all the main characters, which is true. It just that was such a little bit part, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
And then I own it on DVD, but I feel like the home video release is weird because I've looked and looked, and it looks like there was only a DVD. There is no plans to release it on Blu-ray whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's weird too, like that they do with smaller movies. Sometimes they'll only give it a DVD release
Right.
and no Blu-ray. Same thing with Paddington and Paddington 2. I've only found them on DVD. I've
On
never
TV.
seen a Blu-ray of either films.
Huh. Interesting. I haven't even noticed that. Huh. I see.
So
Huh.
like I said, I just feel like certain movies are just stacked against them because even if they share a similar theater count with a bigger movie, I mean, they might get 3, 4 screenings a day compared to something like Avengers Endgame or It Chapter 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. Sucks.
And I just feel like the little stuff like that just isn't talked about when we talk about little movies.
Right. Well, That's what we're here for, to try and bring more attention to it, and hopefully by that way we can somehow, some way influence other people to go watch the movies. And that, I think that's one of the reasons, it's partially a reason why I do giveaways for gift cards, Fandango gift cards, is so people can go. I know it's not cheap, especially here in LA, to go watch a movie. And if you can watch a smaller film on my behalf, then go right ahead. you know? But yeah, I absolutely agree. I think, yeah, you do have a valid point.
And I really do love that you do giveaways like that for people. That's really a wonderful and selfless thing that you do. And that's something else I admire you for, because you'll take time out of your day just to try to make someone else's day a little brighter with the giveaways, and I think that's just great.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm just trying to help other movie fans, just watch movies, or whatever movie it is. I'm not gonna state or say what movie to watch, but yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a good job, to have the opportunity to do these giveaways. So if why not, just help some people out, go watch movies and just do some giveaways. But yeah, I'm not doing it for any other reason. Like I don't want anybody like to be like, yeah, she's rich, or she's doing this, or yeah, she's awesome. That's it. No, it's more of a something I like to do. I don't want any praise or anything as such.
Okay, it's okay. I'll just praise you then. That's fine.
Thank you, though. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. So, is there anything that you are looking forward to for the rest of the year as far as movies?
Movies, huh? Yes, there's so many. Everything that was screening over at the Toronto International Film Festival, they just they just increased the hype I had for a lot of the films. Of course, The Joker and Knives Out also sounded quite interesting. And what else? Um,
Are you looking forward to the Judy Garland movie at all?
oh, I've seen trailers. I don't know. I'm not as hype about it. I'll probably end up seeing it. I'm just not really, really excited to see it though. Not something I'm very hyped about. But I don't know. What else am I excited to see? Of course, the Frozen 2. I'm not a big. I might lose some followers for this, but I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I'm not extremely hyped about the Rise of Skywalker. But eventually, I'll end up seeing it. Um,
It, that's okay, because yesterday too,
uh huh.
Kylie and I were talking about movies, and she doesn't really watch very many modern films. She watches a lot of classics, and she
Oh.
mentioned that she doesn't like Star Wars. So you're not the only one this weekend who has said that. So you're perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. Not that I don't like it. I'm just not big about it as the other franchises. What else? To be quite frank, like right now, I'm really, really excited about what I'm doing. And I'm going to sound completely selfish because I'm going to take this platform to like advertise what I'm doing for the Hispanic Heritage Month thing. So I'm really excited to watch a lot of these films. Like half of the films that I had requested to watch for this special, I have not seen. So it's going to be my first time watching these films. So that's something I'm very excited to watch. To watch. But when it comes to newly released films, yeah, I think those are some of the. Hi, I'm trying to think. What else is coming out? I'm not excited for Ad Astra for some reason. There's just something about it that does
No,
not catch my
that
attention.
movie
No.
looks really uninteresting. And was it Kristen Lopez reviewed it yesterday? She
Uh
tweeted
huh.
about it,
Uh
and
huh.
basically everything she tweeted was what I thought in the trailer. That it
Mhm.
just seems really boring and uninteresting. And
Uh huh.
I think Lucy in the Sky looks a little more interesting. I
Yes.
didn't realize it was based on a true story. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I just found out a couple of days ago myself.
Yeah, because I remember the story itself, but I didn't realize this movie was about it. Do you remember the news reports when this
I
happened?
don't. No, no, I have no clue.
So this female astronaut fell in love with her co-astronaut. I don't know what the correct term is. Her co-worker.
Right.
And in the movie, I guess he's played by John Hamm.
Mm-hmm.
And in real life, I can't remember where she drove to. She drove, I think, like across state lines to try to like break up him and his wife, if I remember correctly. And the
Uh-huh.
reason it made news stories is because she didn't want to stop while she was driving, so she wore a diaper the whole time.
Oh. Huh.
So I remember that was just the headline, like, astronaut wears diaper to go try to break up a marriage.
Oh, interesting. No, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah,
Okay.
but apparently, from what I heard from the TIFF reviews, they don't even mention that part, which is weird because that was a part of the headline.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. It's just a weird adaptation, honestly.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah,
Because
that sounds a bit more interesting than an Astra.
yeah, because it feels like it's weird because even when you watch the trailer for Lucy in the Sky, they don't even mention that it's based on a true story at all.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if they're doing that on purpose just so that you don't automatically characterize her with the wacky headlines that we had gotten, and so you could see her more as a real person. I want to think
Yeah.
that's why they're doing that.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, because it was really cartoonishly weird when that news broke out. Like I remember everyone was making fun of that woman because she wore a diaper to drive across
Yeah.
state lines to try to get her a man. Like
Wait, how long ago was this?
I don't remember. I think it was like in the 2000s.
Oh, okay. I
So it
see.
wasn't that long ago, maybe like 10
Yeah.
years ago or so.
Uh-huh. Huh. Okay.
Surprised you didn't hear about that. That was like a whole thing for like a week.
Yeah. I don't recall. No. I don't recall. No, yeah. I don't recall anything. Oh, now I feel bad.
That's okay. I mean, I don't know. Apparently, I've heard a lot of mixed things on that film as well.
Okay.
Exiting TIFF, so I don't know. I try to take everything with a very large grain of salt.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna go see Joker or not, just
Okay.
because I'm just getting like the movie itself looks interesting, but I'm getting some really weird vibes from the fan base. And
I
like my
see.
family and I have already talked about it. We're not sure that's a movie we want to see in theaters,
I see.
just
Okay.
because of the type of people who might go there. And I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's been one of the most anticipated films, for me, just personally, of the year, just because it looks like Joaquin Phoenix will be giving a pretty darn great performance, and that's what attracted me to it. But yeah, I briefly, I don't like to read full reviews prior to watching the film, but when just whatever they put up on Twitter, uh, I can see it has mixed reviews and everything, but I think that's making it a bit more appealing to me. So yeah, I'll probably be there opening weekend.
I might wait for DVD. Honestly, like I said,
Okay.
I don't know. I just get a weird feeling, especially after what had happened at the Dark Knight Rises screenings, like the previous screenings for that, and the fact that this character in this version of the movie seems like he's trying to radicalize people in the movie, and it's just making people act weird already who haven't even seen the movie.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just gives me a weird feeling, and I don't feel comfortable watching it in theaters.
Okay. No, that's completely fair. Yeah, understandable. Yeah.
I mean, to change subjects on a lighter note, uh, are you an Almodovar fan at all? Because his new movie comes out next month.
He sounds so familiar. Is that the film with what's his face? I can't think. I'm blanking right now.
It's with Antonio Banderas
Antonio
and
Banderas. Yes.
Penelope Cruz, two actors who he made their careers. Yeah, if you look back to early Almodovar films, you see a very little teenage baby faced Antonio Banderas in the 80s. because those were his first acting roles. I mean, you could
Uh-huh.
argue he wouldn't have a career at all if it wasn't for Almodovar.
Almodovar, yeah.
Same thing with Penelope Cruz in the '90s. She started having bit parts in his films, and then obviously went on to do American movies. I'm a huge fan. I've literally seen every single one of his films, and
Oh.
I'm very excited to see this new film.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I, uh-huh.
oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, sadly, it came out in the UK last month, so everybody I know that lives in the UK already saw it. But I have to
Uh-huh.
wait an extra month, which does not make me happy.
Oh. Yes, I think I've seen a trailer once or twice for it. Yes, I'm definitely excited. It's Antonio Banderas and Penelope Cruz. So yes, anything. I'm a big supporter and big. I'm one of those. I don't know if you want to call it cliche or such. But if I do see somebody, a Latino Hispanic actor in a film, or if a film's director or produced by one, I'm gonna go support it. And this film, based on the trailer that I've seen, yes, I'm definitely gonna go see this. And in regards to Almodovar, I am going to sound completely ignorant, but I have not seen all of his filmography and such. But it's definitely something I am looking forward to seeing.
And that's perfectly fine if you haven't. I mean,
Hmm.
the only reason I've seen every single one is because I'm a huge super fan of his. He's one of my
Right.
favorite directors. I would never necessarily recommend every one of his films to anybody.
Okay.
There are definitely a handful of them that I don't recommend to anyone at
Oh.
all. Especially Kika from 1993. That is a horrible movie that I will never watch again, and I will never recommend to any single person.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah, no, because in that movie, just besides the fact that that movie is a mess and the story doesn't make any sense, there's a
Hmm.
sequence in the middle of the movie where he tries to make it like a screwball comedy, but he tries to make rape funny.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's it painfully unfunny and gross. And I
Hmm.
don't know why he necessarily tried to do that, but that is why I can't recommend Kika to any living human being.
Hmm. Well, good to know. Yeah, if you can give me a list of the films you would recommend, I really appreciate that.
Oh, definitely. I was also talking to a Sade from Off Screen Babble
Uh
because
huh.
they were doing their episode where they were talking about movies they were really looking forward to in fall and winter, and
Mhm.
they actually had mentioned that movie. I was surprised. I didn't think they were going to mention Pain and Glory. And they had mentioned it, and they had mentioned they had never seen an Almodovar film before. So
Mhm.
I already told her, I'm like, I need to help you pick a first one to watch because they get really messed up and really weird very quickly.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, you can help me too. I
Okay.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, definitely there's definitely a few that are easy to recommend for first time watches.
Mhm.
And then obviously the more you get into his filmography, the more I could recommend. But just
Okay.
certain things get a little too weird, so that if you were to watch it for the first time, I feel like it might turn some people off to his style of films.
Oh, I see. Okay. Interesting.
Obviously, you love movies and you've dedicated your life to them.
Right.
Do you remember the first year or even the first movie that you had seen that kind of sent you on this journey?
Mhm. Oh, good question. On this journey, um, I've been watching movies like when in the theater on their opening weekend or perhaps the second opening weekend for the past I'm fairly new at this. I don't have the knowledge nor experience as a lot of professional film critics, which is why I like to identify myself or just call myself an aspiring film critic. I don't think I'm there yet as I'm still working on film school and such, but perhaps for the past 3 4 years I've been going to the movie theater a couple days out of the week and then watching movies there. The movie that perhaps made me start reviewing them and start doing these um, was probably, oh, I can't even think of a specific film, but it must have been like 2 years ago, like that year of 2017. Um, the movies that came out that year, and just watching the reviews and watching everything, and then the impact that Wonder Woman had for having the first female director, and then being the first female superhero in 27, was it 2017? I think it was 2017. Um, and just the fact that we're just having a first female led superhero, just now in 2017, it's like mind blowing to me. So it was then that I started to do it, like talk about it, and just started posting little things, snippets here and there in social media. uh, but what I think what triggered my interest in film was probably watching Selena in the movie theaters when I was 10 years old. That movie just impacted me. I was a big fan of Selena back when I was back in the day, and I clearly recall it. It's one of those moments and one of those times that you clearly recall when you were what age, what were you doing, and what had happened. I recall coming back from school, and my mother telling me that the lady or the girl that sang "Bidi Bidi Bamba" was just killed, and getting home to that news. Of course, I was just 10 years old, so I couldn't really fully understand, comprehend what was going on. But it did affect me because I was a big fan of her, and of course when the film came out, I begged my mother to take me to watch it, and she did take me. I think that was the first film I ever watched in the movie theater. And just that experience itself. And then at the end of the movie, I was just a crying mess. I was just crying my balls out in that film. But that experience that I had in the movie theater, and then the entire experience itself, from hearing the news that she had passed away, and then just watching the film and seeing how it impacted me, it's something I will never forget. So for a film to have that kind of impact on me, it was definitely life changing. Of course, it wouldn't be years later that I would get into it, but that to have memories like that just because of a movie, just because of a film, it's quite. To me, it's just impressing and very. Oh my God, I can't even find the right words to say this. And just, I don't know, life changing and just amazing to go through something like that just because of a film. So now that I got to rewatch it again for the special I have coming up, I see it with a different lens. Now that with all my experience and the knowledge I have on film and everything, and now I have a different take on the film. Perhaps a more deeper connection to it. I couldn't relate more to Selena the movie right now than I did back when I was 10 years old. So for a film to have a certain impact on you when you're such a young age, and then to come back to it 20 years later, 22 years later, and watch the same film all over again, and to have a different kind of impact on you, I think for me it's quite fascinating now that I talk about it, and I lay it out. I have it all laid out here. um, so I think Selena was very fundamental. The Selena, the singer, and Selena, the movie, in doing film criticism. But I think Wonder Woman also had something very impactful for me to that it influenced my decision to become a film critic. I don't know. Did that make any sense at all?
No, that was wonderful. I love that
Okay.
answer. That
I was
was
like, I know I'm like nitpicking here and then trying to make some cohesive sentences or statements here.
no, that was great. I love that
Okay.
because that was definitely because we didn't really go to the movies a lot when I was a kid because there was four of us kids, so obviously that gets
Right.
expensive. But
Yes.
but definitely Selena was something we watched on TV every weekend. Every time it would come on cable,
Hmm.
you would stop what you were doing, no matter what point we were in the movie.
Yeah.
Even if it was halfway over, it doesn't matter. Selena's on. We have to watch it.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And same here. I mean, I was, a lot of people know this already, but I born and raised in East LA. So we don't even had a movie theater in East LA. We had to go to a nearby city to go watch a movie. And I'm the only child, so it wasn't that expensive, but my family couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford to go to the movies. I would go to the movies maybe once a year, if not once every 2 to 3 years when I was younger, because we just simply couldn't afford it. And so, yeah, for me to have that experience, of course, many might think, well, that's the only time you went, and that 5 6 year gap, of course, you're gonna remember it. But the fact that my mother decided to spend her like hard-earned money for me to go watch the movie, it's something that I just will never forget.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Obviously, that is definitely a timeless movie. Like I said, my sister and I had
Yeah.
watched it again this year,
Yeah.
and it's so good still. And
Yeah.
I want to see what Netflix does with the TV series. I don't know what they're planning to do with that, but I'm interested.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then
Um. Mhm.
I think it's cool that you've only really been seeing movies. How do I say this, with like a more critical eye for only 2 years? That's actually a little surprising. Because I think
Really.
you're, yeah, no, I think you're really smart when it comes to movies. I think
Oh.
you have a really good critical eye. Like you have a very good understanding of film and why movies don't work and why movies do work. So I'm
Mhm.
honestly a little surprised you've said you've only been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I for that same reason, because I know my lack of experience might come back and haunt me, is why I decided to get a degree in film and media studies, just to have a little bit of credibility on it, you know. Um, but yeah, of course, I've been watching movies like for quite a long time, but for it'll be logical that the only movies I've been exposed to are the big blockbusters. Those are the only ones I've been hearing of. Prior to doing film criticism, it's just recently when I started to get into these smaller indie films, and then simultaneously also looking at these blockbusters. Sorry, but yeah, yeah, it's just I'm just a newbie. I'm just a rookie in this.
So what is the end goal for you overall when it comes to this? Do you want to write for a publication? Do you want to be on TV? Do you want to be on radio? What would be the end goal for you when it comes to this?
Hmm. Um, eventually, I would love to write for a big publication. Yes, I would like to continue writing. It's not popularly known, but I I'm not very self confident when it comes to being on screen or in front of a camera, which is why I don't have a YouTube channel, or I politely decline a few offers to make a video or such things like that. I just don't feel comfortable yet. Uh, but eventually, yes, I wanna be a voice for, um, especially I think I fit every minority possible. You know, as a woman, as a Latina or Latinx or Hispanic Chicana, as a bisexual woman, and then also although religiously I'm an atheist, as an atheist also, as just to be a voice for the less represented, from critics out there. That's just my ultimate goal. And aside from that, I want to also be an example for my daughters. I want them to know, to see, because I have four daughters. I want them to know that you can do anything you set your mind to, regardless of your gender, regardless of your name or complexions. You can do it. You know, just set your mind to it. And yes, you might have to work a little harder because of it, but hopefully we do come to an age, or we do come to that time where you don't have to work 10 times as hard or 20 times as hard just because you're a woman or just because you're a Hispanic Latinx person. And that's my ultimate goal, to go as far and do as much as I can possible and just be a role model to my daughters and hopefully for other fellow Latinos or women out there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, you're definitely inspiring. You're definitely inspiring. You're wonderful.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I mean, I think you would honestly do really good on radio because between this and when I heard you on Piecing It Together pod, like you're really good when it comes to this kind of stuff. Definitely.
Oh, you heard it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I listen. Of course, I listened to that episode. So I mean, I encourage you to do more guest spots on podcasts and whatnot because I think you're really good in this format too.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. I will really take that into consideration. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're gonna be doing uh a podcast for your new website with
Mm-hmm.
FilmB.
Right.
Do you know how often you two are gonna be doing that?
We're still in the works for it as of now. We don't know yet. I think the as far as I know, I don't even know if I'm supposed to buy it, whatever. As far as I'm aware, the main podcast will be debuting probably in the new year. But we still have a lot of works, a lot to do, and a lot to like plan out and such things like that. If I'm not mistaken, it might be maybe twice a month or even once a month as we just start and trying to get our feet wet and such and see how people respond to us.
Okay, and I'm very excited to listen because I don't know what the dynamic will be between you and FilmB, and I'm very excited to see what it's gonna be like.
Oh, yeah. Um, I mean, Bianca is, or B, she is just an amazing and hardworking woman. And I couldn't be any more excited and more like proud of everything she's doing. She is working her butt off for the sites and for the podcast, and I could not admire her anymore. And I'm also grateful that she would even take a chance, even just to look at me, someone with not much experience and who's just pretty much a rookie in this, and to give me an opportunity like this, it's just, I'm going to take advantage of it, but it's something that I'm always going to be grateful for because she had no business and even look in my direction while having the her experience and her knowledge on films. She had no business looking at me, and she did. So I will always forever be grateful for this.
Well, I mean, I will let you know right now, right here, that I was very excited when it was announced that you were going to be the co-host of the podcast. I honestly couldn't think of a better person to do this, and I mean, I think you're going to be great. The website will continue to be great, and I will listen to the podcast whenever it is released.
Thank you so much.
Of
As
course,
always, like I noted earlier, you're so supportive, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very
I try
much.
my best.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're doing very well.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so on that note, it looks
Yeah.
like we're at about the end now. So
Okay.
I will say thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me and for this. I had a lot of fun. I don't know if you only do this one time per guest, but if you don't, I am more than willing to do this again. I had a pretty good blast.
Yeah, I'm looking into to inviting certain people back next year. I just gotta plan that out because I the rest of this year I already have the guest plan, but next year definitely I will give you a call.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll be looking forward to that. Again, thank you for inviting me and thank you for everything you're doing. You're just so amazing. Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you very much. You too kind. Okay,
I
so
try.
so that means we say goodbye to everybody. Bye everybody.
Bye. Thank you for listening.